Hey, hey. Okay. Okay. The world ain't ready. The world ain't ready. One for the. Alright, kill. Here it is. Get ready, let's go, homeboy. Nigga ball in your court, my nigga. Take that shot, man. Let's get it, man. You gon' respect this hustle.
Ready, set, go. Making niggas get right or get low. 1, 2, 2. Ready, set, go. Making niggas get right or get low. Get low, keep right. Call on killer, kill from the villa. Keep low, keep right. Call on killer, kill from the villa.
I know the streets about tired of this weak shit. Your style been ran through like a.
Matt here from Around Square, and I'm going to do another one of these monthly rundowns of what's coming in our next product launch. This month we got a pretty hefty one with a bunch of new stuff, and I think I want to start out by talking about our new beads. We're calling them Milos. These are what I've referred to online as the apple beads. It's got kind of that apple shape, and excuse the sawing noise in the background. Hopefully that'll get filtered out. Anyways, these guys are, like I said, kind of apple shaped. They're all a little bit wider in diameter than they are in tall in height, giving them a distinctive shape and like a nice round edge on each one. So we've actually been using this bead shape for quite a while. We did some acrylic beads out of these, oh man, maybe like 2 years ago, and that was just kind of the first time that we tested that design, and it was kind of inspired by the Bodhi, the jade Bodhi seeds that we've been selling. And you know, I've always really liked that shape and felt that there was probably a place in the lineup for something that wasn't quite spherical, and so we set to work, kind of did a few rounds of samples, and landed on this as the final design. So we're doing these in 3 sizes, and rather than doing like everything short form, long form, begleri, whatever, in all 3 sizes, which kind of like clutters things up, I kind of went to what I thought was kind of the optimal setup for each of the bead sizes. So we have here like a 10 millimeter size, so 10 millimeter diameter. And you can see the bead profile is it's not rounded. They're more cylindrical and kind of flattened. So 10 millimeter beads. We're doing a sort of long form MK Ultras out of these guys, and no tassel on these because I find the tassel can sometimes get in the way if you're playing. It's aesthetically nice, but we're just doing the kind of a clean setup here and a single boss bead. And in this size, we're also doing a 3-stack begleri, so 3 beads at either end. Nice light setup, and this is the bead that I've been rocking in a lot of my recent begleri videos. You know, similarly, like the long form set is what I've been using in my recent ultra videos on Instagram. So these are super nice. They all have a 3 millimeter bore, so we went down to a 3 millimeter bore on this just to kind of differentiate them from the other products that we already have. But also I find that when you're doing the bead counting, the 4 millimeter bore can sometimes, like, it's a little bit loose on the string, and I find it feels really good to have just like a slightly tighter bore. They still drop nicely for raindrops and that sort of thing, but it just gives a different experience when you're doing your bead counting, when your thumb passes over and you're not feeling the bore. You do feel it a little bit still, but it's rounded on the inside, and it's closer to the string, so it's a pretty good little experience. So with 10 millimeters long form and a 3x3 begleri, going up to the 12 millimeter size, we're doing a standard MK Ultra setup there. So this is like most comparable to the OG MK Ultras that we did with our 11.8 millimeter micro bosses, but of course the shape is quite different and feels quite different. Again with the 3 millimeter bore, and on these guys, we're not doing a long form option. We're doing just a short form MK Ultras and a 2-stack begleri option. Okay, so these are actually quite a bit like the Sigmas in both look and feel, weight and so on, except that they're slightly more rounded, slightly different dimensions, and the 3 millimeter bore. I should mention the 3mm bore, because it's slightly rounded on the edge, it is possible to get some 550 in there without too much work. Like the custom 550 that we're having made, you can actually get it in without any kind of doctoring it, just as long as you have like a nice clean cut and a melt without a big pancake on it. You can kind of feed that through. But these were designed more for the 275 or the 2mm Kevlar type cord. You know, it's custom made beads for the mkultras rather than what we've done in the past, which was using our other bead shapes or other bead sizes just as mkultras alternative. Right. Then jumping up to the 14mm size, I decided to do just a straight up mala set with these, similar to the 15mm malas that we've been doing, except with that apple bead shape. Okay. So it's quite comparable, and these guys have on the end, they've got one 10mm and one 12mm apple bead there for the tassel, which is a little bit distinctive. Okay, and for these guys, we're not doing a straight up set of begleri with them. We're doing a 3-stack that's one small, one medium, and large. So it's it looks like a snowman or something. But this is a slightly heavier setup, and it feels heavy, especially because of the end weight there. But it's all in all not too light, and it really anchors nicely in the hand when you're flipping. I've played all of these a fair bit just to decide what I thought would be the best arrangement. I'm just going to weigh these guys for you real quick. So if my scale powers up, yeah, sweet. So all in with the cord, yeah, you're looking at 24.8 there for this 3-stack. The 2-stack on the 12mm size, let's see, 15.3, so it's still nice and light. And then onto the 3-stack with the 10mm beads, that's 14.1. So that's all in with the cord. Because it's longer, you know, it does feel more than 7 grams per end. It kind of swings with a decent amount of momentum. I like them a lot. A lot of people like the light sets these days, but you know, not for everybody, and maybe not the best like first set ever. But yeah, if you want to talk something in the heavier range, why don't I slip into these guys here? So as promised, we are continuing to roll out this peacock PVD coating in our other bead shapes. So these are the Titans, of course, like the classic, probably like the flagship, or at least like back in the day was like the flagship around square set. Super like comfortable design. Even though they're good and heavy, they play really comfortably in the hand just because of the shape. So these guys are not going away, and I'm definitely happy to like reinvest by doing a new production run to get this colorway in. Okay, so those guys. Next up, we got the Slimony knucklebone. Okay, so the original machine finish version sold out pretty quick when we first launched it, and it's been a while coming back in. We're bringing it back in 3 finishes now because it was so popular. We're going to do the sandblasted finish, which is this one. It's coming up this month. Polished finish and another round of machine finished should be along in the next month or 2. So if you're holding out for that, you won't have to hold out that much longer. This is my own piece that I've played a ton. I really like the silky feel of this. Here's a brand new fresh piece. You can see it's like slightly lighter when it starts off. And that sandblast, it's not a rough sandblast. It's very soft and smooth to play. And I'd say it plays as well, similar amount of grip to the machine finish. The polished ones are tackier and have more grip to them, but the sandblasted and the machine finish are really smooth to play and without too much grip. So if that's what you're going for, that's what we're offering. What else we got? Got finally the Delrin banjas coming in this month. So we got like a whole lineup of banjas coming in the next few months. I love this product. I love wearing them and just having something small and discreet, no moving parts, just to like fiddle around with if I'm waiting idly for something. And it's like small enough that it's nice and discreet. Because it's just so clean, we're doing it just in the black and the white for now, and if people like them, we may do other colors. But I love the white banja, the white Delran material, just because it kind of has that glow to it, almost as if it's kind of translucent, which I don't think it is, but it just picks up the light really nicely. And then the black, of course, just classic, right? So we're doing these in non-etched, no logo version, just because focusing on that clean aspect. But we're also doing, for those people who want it, a version that has a logo etched in it. And the logo is, it can kind of get picked up in the light depending on the angle, but it's one that you more feel rather than see. So it's really understated, which I like. I'm not super into the big prominent branding on things, and so this is just nice. Like, for those of you who want a little bit of texture on your thing, it gives that little bit of roughness, which is kind of cool. And yeah, it's there in an understated way. We're going size 23.5, 22.5, 21.5, 20.5, and for the first time we're introducing 19.5. So we are going to roll this out in the metal materials, but this is the 19.5 right here. It looks tiny compared to the others, but it's they all look great. All right, happy with those. Took a few rounds of samples to get them. Next up, exotics. So we got a ton of exotics finally rolling in. It's taken a lot of effort from the team, but we got it. And this month is a big focus on mokume gane. And for the first time ever, we're doing these beautiful malas with the 15 millimeter beads. The finish on this batch of mokume is like freaking crazy. It's I don't know how the factory did it for us, but it's a little different than what we've had in the past. There's a very slight texture to it. So it's almost like they etched them first and then polished them. It's not, you don't feel much of it, but it's not perfectly smooth. Like, I mean, it is smooth because it's polished, but you feel those little ripples from the texture of the material underneath, which is a really nice touch. And you can see it kind of, well, you may not come out in the video, but it actually like picks up the light, and it almost has this like faceted look, like a cut gem or something, right? Because it's reflecting light in slightly different ways as you turn it. So that's super dope. I'm really happy with these. And of course, yeah, we had to do the 15 millimeter beads on these just because it's like such a statement, and nice heft on these, like awesome breathwork set. Okay. We also have the 10 millimeter beads. I believe we're having these in the short and long form. And again on the silk cord. The 15 millimeters we're doing on the Kevlar cord just because you want that like kind of solidness to it, right? But for the other sets, we're doing them on our silk cord. And I believe we're going down to the 8 millimeter beads as well. I don't have them here, but we're doing 8 millimeters, I believe, short and long form. And then we've got the begleri sets in the mokume as well, right? Then, while we're onto the amazing stuff, check out the color on these. This is mokutai, and it's a long form 10 millimeter set. Okay. And again on the silk cord, and the finish on these just came out so beautifully. It's like just a really stunning blue on them. Hope it comes out in the video, and with a little blue accent on the cord, like the core of the cord. And the silk there is kind of a nice touch, I think. So these guys, I'm really happy with how they came out. We have other mokume stuff or mokutai stuff, but it's coming. We're going to kind of pace ourselves a little bit. We're going to roll some of it out in the next couple of months, rather than like listing everything right now and not giving people a chance to like fully appreciate it, right? And the last little bit of exotic stuff I think for this month is the Zircutai Mini Sigmas. We finally got a restock of these guys. And again, super beautiful, slightly darker in color than the mokutai. You can see side by side. So these are a bit brighter, and the Zircutai, slightly deeper colors and a little bit more subtlety to them, just with the Zirc material in there, which has that kind of grayish appearance. But we got short and long form on these guys. The long form, we're doing that setup that I've talked about online a few times now with the double boss bead and a slightly smaller number of beads along the strand. So that's like my own preferred setup in my own like daily carry mini Sigma set. Okay, so that's these guys. And this month I decided to do that for the chef special. So we're doing the Zircutai version, but then I also wanted to make available in some of our other colors. So we've got the PVD blue mini Sigmas, also in that same arrangement with the double boss. We've got the matte black PVD, same. And the matte black, I don't know, having the beads blasted first before the PVD coating. Really like the feel and the look of these guys because it just like it doesn't reflect the light. It's just kind of like sucks it in. And then we've got the business class just so crispy. And sunset. And again, like, we're pretty picky these days about the colors on our sunset finish. So these have like tons of blues and purples, and just like the occasional little bit of like yellow gold color in there to highlight the other colors. Okay. So I've probably forgot some stuff, but that's roundabout it for this month. Yeah, I'm super excited for it, especially, I don't know, these apple beads are something that I've been playing with the sample pieces for a long time, and I love like every single setup that we're offering. So I hope you guys will too, and yeah, thanks for your time. Okay.
Hey, hey, okay. Okay. The world ain't ready. The world ain't